Hey everybody. Hey everybody, it's Tammy from Unbreak Your Life, where the broken pieces of your life can become a beautiful mosaic. And today I want to talk about what Wikipedia won't tell you about your New Year's resolutions. So, how is your New Year's resolutions going? Yeah, I'm with you. My goal of doing a cardio workout every single day pretty much went out the window with my first day of travel. Ugh. Yeah, I could have gotten up earlier, but I didn't want to disturb my husband or take any time away from him because our time together is really precious and it's valuable and it's limited due to our work schedules. So, yeah, excuses, justifications, explanations. Yeah, you've got them too, I'm sure. But this makes us kind of feel like a failure, right? And this is what Wikipedia doesn't tell us. It doesn't take into consideration when they define what a New Year's resolution is. This free public encyclopedia serves us well when we're looking for descriptions and history of this seemingly worldwide event, but this publication is void of the realities of the personal fallout resulting from the hype and anticipation of what is fed to us as a very positive, life-changing decision. But every January 1st, we stand at the start line of a new year determined to win this time, right? We all do it. So what went wrong? Because I know it went wrong for me already. Well, every year, every new year prods us to contemplate the trajectory of our lives and how we can affect it. We anticipate that we need to do something to improve our lives that will bring us happiness and satisfaction. And then we gather together around the so-called campfire and egg each other on to achieve that goal. Yet so many of us fail even before we get started. So let me kind of share with you some of the facts that I found from Wikipedia. So one fact I found, which I thought was interesting, is that 35% of participants who failed their New Year's resolutions admitted they had unrealistic goals. 33% of the participants didn't even keep track of their progress. And then 23% of the participants really forgot about them. How do you do that? They weren't serious about it in the first place, I guess. And then how about less than 25% of people actually stayed committed to their resolutions after just 30 days. But the kicker is only 8% of people accomplish their New Year's resolution goals and stick with it for the whole year. But here's one thing that I thought was interesting. About 1 in 10 of the respondents to the statistic claimed that they made too many resolutions. I thought you were only supposed to make one. Who makes more than one resolution on New Year's? I don't get that anyway, but that's on them. So statistics like these, though, they've long been available for us, and I'm sure you've heard many variations of them. But then why do we do this to ourselves every year? Since we know the statistics, we set ourselves up for failure, it seems like, every single year. But I believe that we're drawn to resolutions for a specific reason. So I did some research to see if my belief aligned with some of the facts that I found. And I found that the overwhelming reason most people make New Year's resolutions is that when they get caught up in what's called the popular resolution groupthink. We think we're supposed to make New Year's resolutions because everyone's doing it. It's like a tradition, right, to engage in this activity. After all, we don't want to be caught on December 31st and not have a New Year's resolution, right? Yeah. So this is what I call the law of conformity. It's kind of like when you were a kid and your mom asked you, well, if Johnny went and jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? But I think it has more to do with trying to honor our social self. It's the one that wants to be involved in fitting in and gaining approval from others. And we don't even realize we're doing it. but because it's so pervasive in our culture. Dr. Irving Janis, in his book, Victims of Groupthink, recognized that in many cases, people will set aside their own personal beliefs to be included within a group. We all do this to one extent or another, but it seems to be on a larger scale this time of year. So how do we even choose our resolutions anyway? I believe that we pick what everyone else picks. It's like easy. We just kind of throw things out there like losing weight or making money, finding love, getting a promotion, drinking more water, taking more steps, that kind of stuff. But didn't we make that same resolution last year? Oh no, wait, maybe that was 2 years ago. It's like we think we always get a do-over on our goals every January 1st. Besides, those resolutions are too vague and broad and not tailored to what you really want to accomplish. So, what do you really want to accomplish? So, what if we could participate in New Year's resolutions or goal setting and still honor our essential self? What if we could create an intention for our New Year's resolutions or goals and make real changes in some areas of our lives where we feel fulfilled? And what if we didn't even make them or call them New Year's resolutions anymore? So putting our finger on what that looks like for yourself is going to take some self-reflection. So an important part of the process is getting your head and your heart aligned to take on the new year or your goals in a way that honors who you really are. And that's going to include taking stock of where you were emotionally, physically, and spiritually last year, and analyzing where you are now and really examining where you want to go from here. And when you go through this process, you'll also get to play back and re-celebrate some of those victories you experienced from the past year. And if you're like me, I want to enjoy even more success this year. And now I can prepare to visualize what it might look like. But I have to do it right. And you need to do it right. So doing it right takes work. And I'm a firm believer that no matter when you start, making goals in a healthy way requires self-reflection. That's going to be a key word for me going forward. This is a key to creating a strategy that's going to be effective instead of self-defeating when week 2 or 3 rolls around and you've abandoned your journey altogether. So what kind of self-reflection, you ask? I'm glad you asked. So I came up with 3 questions you could ask yourself. Number 1, what can I change? Or what change can I make that when I look back a year from now, I will be grateful for it? Number 2, is there a level or type of suffering in my life that I'm ready to free myself of? Number 3, is there a level or type of joy that I have been seeking for a while? So when we look inward and we ask ourselves those questions, we need to take stock of the past to look forward to the future. And there may be much you want to take with you into that future, but I know there's going to be plenty you don't want to drag along behind you. And one way to do this is to look back to 1 year ago and think about that one thing you should have and could have done that would have made your life more fulfilling today. Now, take that feeling and that thought process and think about what you would like your future self to be very happy about that you made a decision to start today. Maybe it is to improve your health. Maybe it is to improve your intellect. Maybe it is to improve your relationships, or something that is going to feed the vision you have for your life and help to propel it forward. So we all have levels of suffering or anguish that we need to be rid of, but how do we do that? What does that even look like for you? When we're in the stage a state of anguish or suffering, we tend to cut ourselves off from other people, even people who love us, because we don't want anyone to know that we're suffering, that we have this going on. So we feel that this anguish is a failure and it signifies failure on our part, and it leads to feelings of shame and guilt. And continually feeling that can lead to depression. So there are steps that can take you out of this spiral. Self-reflection into the heart of where the suffering is coming from is a step toward letting it go. So joy. Joy comes in many, many forms, and I believe it is as an individual as a fingerprint. What one thing, if you had more of it, would be a huge change in your joy status? Is it a social connection? Is it about adventure? Is it hope for something? Is it mastery of something? Or more playfulness or curiosity seeking or creativity? Once you have done this self-reflecting and brought it into the vision of your future, then you can get concrete about the process. Your past, present, and your future congeal to bring you face to face to your essential self, to a moment of choice that is consistent with your vision, allowing you to focus on it. Step into it and just start. One baby step in the direction of your vision will, as the year moves on, ease you into increasing the amount of time, level of focus, quantity of activity, overall creativity and joy in that area. You're going to have setbacks. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. You may even have to abandon your plan altogether because you may have a life responsibility that will interject itself into your life and into your forward progress. This is where you need to marshal all of your dedication that you have to the process and start over and start again from where you left off. Because the important thing to remember is that the trajectory of your life is in a forward motion, and now you have connection with your essential self. Just don't abandon what you started, because your future self will look back and see that you were committed to what mattered most to you, and that's you. So a year ago, I created a workbook with these same principles, and they can help you in a positive trajectory of your life as we talk about goals and New Year's resolutions. The roadmap to creating the life you deserve was born out of a desire to give guidance to women who were thrown aside by their partners in exchange for someone else. Yeah, ouch. It's tough. But it was originally a compliment to the workshop I took them through, but I've since found that it's very applicable to anyone who wants a clear pathway to a richer, more fulfilling life. And it's available on my website and in the link below. So please leave a comment below if you want to. I'd love to dialogue with you about anything I've discussed today. And until next time, be unbreakable.